A few days ago, the walls of this room broke down, and as sad as that is, it wasn't surprising in the least. This room is or was our storeroom where we kept all our school stuff, and like so many of the other buildings in the village, it's made of mud, which is why it wasn't surprising when the walls broke down, because during the rainy season this happens a lot. A lot of the buildings collapse and then they get rebuilt. So now let me show you something very concerning. This is my room here in the village, and as you can see, the collapse of our storeroom is forcing me to improvise. But back to the topic of concerning, just look at this. Those are some really deep cracks at both sides of the wall, and coincidentally my bed is right here, which means at any given rainy day or night these walls could come down. Well, they could go back that way, but there's a very slim chance they could fall on me and I might be no more. This is one of the risks I have to navigate on a daily basis, just because I chose to serve my country by teaching in a village. But let's forget about me for a second and let's have a broader conversation about this. Okay, let's have a conversation. Okay, so when I got posted here in Chatty, because the village was so remote, there was nothing like rooms for rent. Rooms were not there for commercial purposes. Everybody had their own property, so it was the people who kind of looked within themselves and then got me a place to stay. And that has been the situation. Even when my colleague NS came, it was the same. It kind of makes me wonder why the government insists of posting people to villages but then makes no accommodation ready for them. And sure, there are a few village schools, like there are some schools in certain villages not too far from here who have bungalows. But then what really shocked me and then what really triggered me to make this video was because almost every single bungalow I have seen in any of those villages was built by an NGO. It's like the government has no hands in teachers' bungalows, which is very concerning for me. Because what do you mean you are assigning people to go and teach in remote communities and then you just leave them to fend for themselves? And we are not even going to talk about the remote area allowance, which is its own conversation. It's just sad. So what this tells me is the government does not care about me as a teacher in the village. Every risk I take here is mine to bear and mine alone. And that's not a space I want to operate in. I really want to give in my all to make the maximum impact I can make, but then under these situations where I have to worry about my life and my well-being, it's really hard to do that. And so I guess the point of this video is we need to do better. Teachers, citizens, our teacher unions, and most especially the government needs to do better, because we have colleague nurses in villages, and every chips compound in every village comes with accommodation. They even have their own solar devices, so why can't that same courtesy be extended to teachers? And I know very soon they'll be posting a new batch of people, and then I hear these things where people go like we'll send it to villages, we'll send it to villages, but then it's very risky teaching in the village. Okay, a lot of people text me and then they tell me me being in the village has inspired them to teach in the village, and then I'm like, really, because it's a very high risk kind of thing, and you have to be very selfless in a way. And I don't know if a lot of people can do that, but then I think there are things that the government can do to help, like bungalows and then providing accommodations just to smoothen things for teachers. So I guess I'm done ranting and I have to see what I can do at my place, if I have to find a new place to stay or find a way to repair these cracks. Yeah, I'm done.